The following is a presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Broadcasting from the campus of Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is on the air. Your chance to hear from Liberty Women's Basketball head coach Carey Green comes your way on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is also brought to you by Carter Bank, Life Lived Full, Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Freedom Heating and Air, serving those who serve us. Carl Miller Realty, caring, competent, trusted advisors. Lynchburg Nissan, nobody beats our prices, nobody. Sentry Exteriors, experience and quality you can trust. Schedule a free estimate at sentryexteriors.com. And by Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow.
The Hodges with 5 at the top of the arc. She dumps it inside to Smuda. Smuda scoops to the hoop and scores. Beautifully run offense by the Lady Flames.
Now let's talk Liberty Flames women's basketball. Here's your host, the voice of the Lady Flames, Jamie Hall.
Welcome into this week's Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show. We've got a fun program ahead as it is Christmas time and the Lady Flames are ready for some presents and some eggnog and some sugar cookies and the whole thing. But we've got one last program before the holiday to kind of get you set up for the break. And we'll talk with Coach Green about the specifics of the games this last week and a little bit of a look ahead because it's Conference USA when the Lady Flames get back into town, and, well, it's not going to be in town. They get back into town, and then they fly out of town because the first 2 games of the year, no favors were done in the scheduling. They go to the 2 toughest places in Conference USA at Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky. So right back into the fire after the new year, but right now it's more about kind of decompressing the way non-conference has gone and talking a little bit about the holidays. And I don't know anybody better to talk about the holidays with than Bella Smuda. Bella, I don't know why this is, but I just associate you with Christmas, and I think maybe that goes back to our shared love of cookies and candy and things like that. But I just get the sense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you are a holiday person. Like this, is this your favorite time of the year?
Yeah, I do love the holidays. I love Christmas. I would say, I don't know if it's my favorite time of the year because I really hate the cold. I'm not going to lie. I don't love the cold. I'm more of a summer girl. But I do love Christmas. I love going home, seeing family, and like just being like that holiday joy is always, I don't know, something about it. It just makes you feel like a little kid again, you know?
The fact that you've played basketball for how many years now has it been?
A long time.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know.
You were pretty young, weren't you?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I was probably like 7 or 8 when I started playing. I'm 22 now. So it's been, I don't even know. I'm not good at quick math, but it's been
neither one of us tried that.
I was like,
yeah, communications guy. Yeah, not gonna even
we'll
try
just
math.
Cut that out.
Yeah. We'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
We'll put the equation up. It's really not an equation.
Yeah,
if it's plus and minuses, you don't call it an equation as much as you just probably call it subtracting.
Yeah.
Every year though, then pretty much, especially I guess when you're a kid, when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe you're not playing this time of year. But once you get into middle school and high school, the season is usually pretty hot and heavy right now. But everybody gets a break at Christmas. So is that another thing that especially in college, you get 8 days, 6 days, whatever it is. It's nice to also, it's great that it's holidays and you get to spend time with your family, but you also get to kind of recharge a little bit, and step away from the game.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice little reset to go home for a few days. And I mean, it is a little hard sometimes because I see some of my friends who go home for like a whole month and then, which I'm happy to be here, obviously, but like they get to go home for, it's crazy. They go home for like a whole month to get that break. So, Yeah, it is nice to have that little reset, see family, and then it's especially nice that it's right before conference because I feel like it's like you get through the non-conference, you have that little break for Christmas, and then you start the non-conference. So it's a nice little like progression, I think, and a nice little reset before conference starts, which I appreciate.
This year, I mean, you've had some tough games this year.
Yeah.
Last year was grueling because, I mean, it seemed like everybody top 25, top 25, top 25. This year, it's kind of been a little bit more of a mix. You've had some tough games, obviously, but then you've also had a couple of games where everybody got to play, and it was you scored 109, you scored 106. You know, it was like high-scoring games. Do you feel like it was a pretty good mix this year?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it was nice because we, like last year, you know, we had a lot of, you know, top 25 teams we were playing. But it didn't seem like there was like that much of a break. Like it would be like top 25, we're playing North Carolina, NC State this week, and now we're playing Tennessee the next week, and it's like, oh my goodness. Where this year I feel like it is like, oh, we'll have a top team, but then we also will like have a team that's maybe like a D3 school or something like that or whatever to like get us kind of in a more of a rhythm. I will say though, this non-conference schedule has been a lot, like the way the spacing has been a little tough because it'll be like, we would have like 3 games in a week and then the next, which was hard, and then we'd have like 1 game a week. So then you have like a whole week of practice to prepare for 1 game. So that I would say is the only thing that's been a little tough is like the way the games have been spaced out has been kind of weird, but.
Yeah, you go from like an NBA schedule to a high school schedule back to an NBA schedule.
Literally, because we had like when we were in Phoenix, we played Towson on Sunday, GCU on Wednesday, and then on Saturday we played Christopher Newport, and that was like a lot. And then the next week we like didn't have a game for like 8 days, and I was like, so that was it's just different, you know, getting used to the schedule.
And it was different states too.
Yeah,
you go from Maryland to Arizona and then
back
all the way back to
home,
Lynchburg to play again. So I guess that makes you battle tested.
Definitely.
I mean, you get to conference and it'll be a piece of cake even when you're on the road. And there are some tough road trips in Conference USA. New Mexico State and UTEP, which, I mean, it's just, but once you get there, you're playing the games in the same kind of fashion as you do all year long. So it's kind of nice to get into a routine. Do you like it once you get into conference because it's Thursday, Saturday?
I'm a routine person. I feel like I like having like, okay, I know every, like, I don't know. It's nice having like, okay, I know every Sunday's our off day and like having that like reset, like knowing, but like when our schedule is so 3 games this week, 1 game this week, 2 games this week, it's kind of like the schedule is not as consistent, and so it's harder to like get that routine. So I'm looking forward to Conference USA having more of a consistent schedule, and also just conference is fun because it's like this is when it like means something, and I'm not that non-conference doesn't matter, but you know, something about conference, you have those like little rivalries that you have, and so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
This is your second conference, too, so you've kind of gone through a different set of rivalries. So I think the obvious one is Middle Tennessee now because they're at the top, and it was sort of like Florida Gulf Coast was in the A-Sun. So, you know, first place, second place, you guys are battling all the way through to the championship. I mean, it's almost like a mirror image of the A-Sun. But outside of that Middle Tennessee rivalry, because you're trying to knock them off, what would you say the other team that steps into your mind as far as a rival is?
Yeah, well, obviously Middle Tennessee is the big one. Like I think we match up well against them. But I also think like this year Western Kentucky's playing really well, and I think they're definitely, because we knocked them out in the conference play last year, so I'm sure that they're going to come, you know, not taking any mercy on us. That'll be a rivalry. But I also think like FIU, they're a good team. They're very physical and aggressive, and so I feel like playing them is always a little chippy, but that's like a good type of like competitiveness. So I think those are the 2 teams besides Middle Tennessee that are like probably like at the top of the conference that I'm like looking for. Well, I'm looking forward to play everyone, but you know, those are the tops for me, I would say.
What's your favorite trip so far in Conference USA?
I really liked going to New Mexico, actually, because I'd never been out there before. And then we got to see, like, the white sand beaches. Not beaches. They're just deserts, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no beach.
Yeah.
There's no water.
Yeah, very little water, yeah.
But, yeah, that was really cool. I liked seeing that, and it was, like, a fun little thing to do as a team. So I would say probably New Mexico. And the mountains out there are really pretty as well. So, yeah, even though it was a little far. But it was cool.
It's variety. It's funny when you talk to somebody from out west, and they're among that landscape all the time. I don't say they take it for granted, but then they'll come to the east and they'll be just astonished at all the green.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the green, and then the fall, the colors changing and everything. And so we appreciate their scenery more than they do, and they appreciate ours because we get used to it as well. And you're from Pennsylvania area, or, not you're from Pennsylvania, from the Philadelphia area of Pennsylvania. You talk about the winters, and I'm sure there's some nasty snowstorms that you've been involved in. But the fact that you have seasons, not everybody does. And anytime someone has really bad winters, and you talk about like the folks up in Buffalo that just get dumped on with the lake effect snow, and upper part of Michigan, and you go, winter is 7 months out of the year. You just talk about those people. But then I just imagine how nice it has to be in those summer months because they're not dealing with it quite as much humidity and all. So what is a summer like in your part of the world?
Pennsylvania, I feel like it's like, it's not overly hot, but it's not like cold either. Like I would say it's kind of similar to Virginia, except it's just like a little bit, like a few degrees colder. Like I would say, nothing crazy. Like it is pretty similar. I would just say the wind, like, I don't know, like in the summers, it's usually the same. Like when I call home and I'm like, oh, it's been really hot. They're like, oh yeah, it's been pretty hot here too. So I would say it's pretty similar to how it is here in Lynchburg. Nothing, not different.
Summertime activities. What keeps you occupied in the summer?
I love summer. Summer is amazing. I like to go to the pool and just like go to, even at home when I'm home, I like to go, we have like a lake nearby and we'll like kayak and paddleboard and stuff like that. So I just like to be by the water and tan and stuff like that.
More of a lake or beach person?
I think more of a beach person, definitely. But I think as I, like, because Pennsylvania doesn't really have a beach, so I think
You're not too far from the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours, 2.5
2
hours.
hours.
So
Okay.
it's not the worst, but it's not something it's like, oh, we're not going to the beach every weekend, you know? So I would say definitely more of a beach person, but I think I've grown to appreciate lakes, like being in Virginia and then like even being in Pennsylvania. I definitely do love a good lake day too, for sure.
I've always kind of felt myself to be more of a pool person because probably the only animal that's going to be in the pool is whoever, like maybe the dog that lives there. So in the
Depends
ocean.
on your location, maybe though. Like if you're in Florida, you might get an alligator in there or something.
Fair point.
But at least you'll see it.
Hopefully you're not just kind of asleep there on the float and you look over and there's a gator looking at you, side eyeing you.
No.
You definitely don't want that. But the beach is kind of nice. Mm-hmm. But when you get in the ocean, that's when it gets a little bit scary because you just don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
Do I have an unnecessary fear of the ocean? Just seems cavernous.
It is. I feel like that's a lot of people. A lot of people feel the same way. So you're not like you're not on your own. But I don't know. I just love the waves and stuff. Like I just try not to think about that. My dad always tells me that like he says don't be the farthest person out because then if there is like a shark or like some scary animal in there, they'll get the people who are farthest out, not, So that's always my rule of thumb. It gives me peace of mind. I'm like, well, I'm not the farthest out, so I'm not going to get eaten by anything. It's fine. Which I don't know if that's accurate or fair to say, but, it gives me peace of mind.
Right. As long as the shark doesn't like come in sideways and go like up the shore.
Yeah, they just like skip past the farthest person out.
It's like if you're in the woods and there's a bear, you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than your
friend.
Your slowest friend. Yes. Hate to say it that way.
But it's just, it gives you peace of mind.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, so summertime is water. You want to be near the sun. You want to be in all that. But do you have any hobbies? I don't know if I've ever asked you this. Do you play any like golf or pickleball or anything like that?
I have like summertime hobbies or just hobbies in general?
I guess that could be a year-round hobby since the weather around here is pretty good.
Yeah, I would say I mean, I don't like pickleball. I don't know. I tried this summer, and I think I'm also just a bad sport of, like, if I'm not immediately amazing at a sport, I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to play this anymore. And so I tried to play pickleball this summer, and everyone was cooking me, and I was like, I'm done. I don't even want to play this sport. And then golf, not really, but I like to just, like, I like playing guitar, but that's not, I guess that's one of my hobbies, but that's
a hobby, yeah.
But that's, like, not a summertime specific hobby.
Well, I mean, I when I think of
That's like campfire
like
vibes.
you sit by a tree and you've got a campfire and you're playing a worship song.
Yeah.
I kind of see that.
Yeah, but I feel like I could do that's like an all year round. But yeah, definitely in the summer I feel like I play more, especially too because I have more time. Like I feel like like when I'm not doing homework as much and stuff, I have more time to do that. I love reading as well. So like in the summer I feel like I read a lot more too because, more time, less school. So
Exactly. Well, but you have to read a lot for school
yeah,
too.
well, that's why I don't read as much for, pleasure as much during the school year. But I've tried to when we were on like road trips and stuff. But like I feel like in the summer, because this past summer, like I didn't have any classes, and so it was nice because I feel like I was able to read a lot more. We just had practice, and it was nice.
Speaking of the guitar, how much of a historian's not the right word, but I mean, do you listen to other guitarists and go, oh wow,
Yeah.
Vince Gill, oh Eric Clapton, like do you have some favorites?
Well, I feel like there's definitely some artists that I've seen. Like there's just one of my favorite artists. His name's Dominic Fike. He can play guitar insane, and like I've seen like clips of him, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like I could probably never do that ever. But yeah, I feel like I probably am not as much of a historian of knowing like the greats as much. But ask my dad, he would know. He knows all of that stuff. But
Is he the guitar?
he taught me.
What got you
yeah,
into that?
he's the one who taught me. So he's more. I feel like I'm kind of like been at the beginner stage for like 8 years. But hey, whatever.
So if you ranked yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself right now? If Eric Clapton, if Prince is
Okay, then
10,
I'm on like 2.
2, okay.
Because I feel like I know like the basic chords, but like I can know how to play like a basic song, worship song or something, but I can't do all the like I'm very low key so, but it's still fun to do even though I'm pretty basic at it. It's fun because I feel like if you know the main 5 chords, you could play a decent amount of songs. So I just kind of go through that and hope for the best.
Have you ever tried electric?
No, I haven't. I want to though. I want to.
So I could say, I don't know. I just have this picture in my head of an all-girl, rock and roll band.
That'd be so fun.
And you'd be the play lead.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to learn that. Maybe this summer or something.
Yeah, you just got to find somebody else, maybe somebody else on the team that can play bass.
Yeah, we got a band.
And you get a drummer, and you're good to go. Just figure out who can sing, and you got to. The band that always comes to mind when I think of all girl bands, and I'm sure there's others, but the Bangles. Have you ever heard of the Bangles? Yeah. And they played their own instruments. They were kind of they broke through as far as that was concerned. There weren't a lot of female groups that actually played their instruments. I can't even
think of any others though. I feel like recently at least I can't think of any. But yeah, I feel like also the whole boy band, girl band is kind of dying down a little. Every few years there'll be one, but I haven't I don't know. I'm when I was a kid there was One Direction. But there's not really been a big all boy band, all girl band in a while, I feel.
But would you call that a band or would you call that a group?
That's a group.
I feel like you have to play an instrument to be a band, personally.
I agree.
And bands are dying.
That's true. There's really not that many bands anymore. It's individuals.
If you go back, 15, 20 years. I mean, there's still some of the bands that came out maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago that are still putting out music. If you look at, the Killers or, Maroon 5 still gets together every once in a while. So, there's some bands from probably the 2000s that still put out music, but I couldn't tell you a new band from the last 5 years.
Actually, you're very right. I think that's it's kind of sad because I think about it, you don't need a band anymore. You kind of, everything you can do on the computer. I have some friends who are kind of into music and a lot of them don't even, like they'll make music, but they can make it all on the computer. Like they'll sing their part, and then they have like maybe one person who's like playing guitar, but then you could add like a drum beat with like the little whatever. And so it's like, it is, I mean, that is cool because now it gives, I guess, more people opportunity to like make art, but also it's kind of like, I don't know. I do, like, it is nice to hear a live band or like, but you don't really see that as much anymore. So it's interesting.
Yeah, because, I mean, all these little lounges and stuff where you go and there's a live band playing.
Yeah.
If you went and it was just a girl and a track, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it just, you feel like if you're going to go watch somebody live, you want to see the instruments.
Yeah, but it'll usually be like people, like, okay, so say like, there's like a person who's just singing on their own. They'll have a band, but it's not like their band. It's just people playing the instrument, but it's not like, so-and-so in the blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just like so-and-so and some random guys who decided to play drums and guitar for them for this set, Right. So it's interesting.
Well, that's the other thing we have to work on then. If you're going to come up with the band, you've got to get the other members of the band, but you got to come up with the name of the band.
Yeah.
And it has to be a cool name that everyone's going to remember. I mentioned the Killers. That's a name that no one ever forgets.
Yeah.
The Beatles. No one's ever going to forget that. And then you got like some weird, like Hootie and the Blowfish. That was probably. I feel like your dad would be a Hootie and the Blowfish fan.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard. Like, I've heard of that name, but I don't think when you're a kid, you have like this, whatever your parents play, that's like what you grow up on. I don't think I grew up on that.
Okay.
But, I mean, he probably knows so much music, so he probably.
Well, the guy who was the lead singer, Darius Rucker, has had more of a country career since then,
I didn't know. Oh my gosh, it's clicking. I do know who that is now because we had a Darius Rucker CD, the country version, that we literally burned to the ground one summer. And so I do
Wagon Wheel?
Yes, that album. Yep.
Yep.
We literally burned it to the ground. So I do know who that is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Now you can, just if you, Hootie and the Blowfish was his first band, and they still get together once a year, or a couple times a year, and do like some benefit concerts and stuff. But he's pretty much just a solo artist now. But well, there you go. Okay, well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I think this may be the first time that I've ever done this. We have one topic to talk about that is my topic. And then I'm going to kind of let Bella take over from then on. It's going to be her show after that.
Right.
So right after this, here on the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show.
Save big during Lynchburg Nissan's Model Year-End Sales Event. Get $8,200 off remaining Pathfinders in stock. Plus, every vehicle comes with our unbeatable 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. Stock is limited, so hurry into Lynchburg Nissan or shop 24/7 at lynchburgnissan.com.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
You're listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Today's show will continue after this 1-minute timeout on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Turn up the heat. Foster Fuels is a proud partner of Liberty Athletics. Fostering warm moments for 100 years, Foster has been providing exceptional propane and gas services throughout Central Virginia and surrounding areas. From propane to fireplaces and tank installs to tankless water heaters, Foster does it all. Visit fosterfuels.com or download the app to order fuel, pay your bill, and more. Get the customer service you deserve and turn up the heat with Foster Fuels and the Liberty Flames.
Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. With a focus on honesty, education, and excellence, they light the way to savings, home comfort, and a greener future. Educating homeowners about the power of solar and energy efficiency is their winning game plan. Give Earthright Mid-Atlantic a call today at 434-200-9716 or visit erepower.com.
Lynchburg Nissan's Model Year-End Sales Event is here. Take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months on Classy Rogue or save up to $6,500 on Frontiers. Pair these deals with our exclusive 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. Visit Lynchburg Nissan today.
Welcome back into this week's Liberty Flames women's basketball show. We're with Bella Smuda, and it's going to be Bella's show here in just a second. But I do have one question to ask before we get to that. Mm-hmm. And I know injuries are a part of sports, and if you play long enough, you're going to have injuries. You're going to be around injuries, and it's just something that happens, unfortunately. But the last month of this season has been really tough on Liberty Lady Flames post players specifically, and I know that every group, the guards are close, the centers are close. I mean, everybody, it's a tight knit group. I mean, the whole team is close. But when you're playing and first you see Caroline Shirey get hurt, and then you see Emily Howard get hurt, and that had to be a really rough couple of weeks. Yeah, it was. It was hard because it was just so close together. Like it was literally like a week apart. And it's like two people who like Emily was having a good year, and like it just was hard because it was like two of the fives, and it was like two of fives who were playing, and so. Yeah, it was rough, and like my heart breaks for them. It's hard. Seeing them have to go through that because it is like, it's hard mentally and physically. It's hard. So we've been praying for them a bunch and hoping that they have a good recovery. But I am really happy for Emmy though. She's been able to come and get off red shirt and play now, and she did amazing her first debut, and I think she will be a really good addition like to the team. Because she's been on the team, but playing now. So it is like it's unfortunate. Obviously, I'm so sad for them, and I'm here. It's hard for them, and it's hard for like even just the team. But I also am excited for Emmy, and seeing what she can do is exciting. Do you feel almost I don't know if obligation's the right word, but do you feel sort of like okay, it's my turn to be a mentor to the next one? Mm-hmm. Kian was to Maya, and Maya was to you, and then now you have been to it's kind of Emily and Emmy. It makes me like a little like emotional, like because it's like I was even saying that to like Coach Katie the other day because it's like I don't know, like just the next generation of like I don't know, like I think Emmy's gonna be amazing, like I really do, and I think that she's gonna have a great career here, and she's an extremely hard worker, like she works harder than like most people I know. So I think that she's going to be great. And so it's exciting to see. Just like, I don't know. If I can just help her, encourage her, tell her that she's going to be all right is the biggest thing. When everybody's healthy and you guys are just kind of beating on each other in practice, I don't want to put you on the spot and say who wins one-on-one, but like what are the things that you go, okay, I bring this to the table, but she's got this part of her game. Like what are some differences? It is definitely, it's interesting because like out of all the fives, like everyone does kind of bring something different, where I think I'm more finesse. I'm probably the most like finesse five, where like I'm not necessarily like banging down low, but I have like a little jump shot. But like Emmy is really strong, and so is Emily. Like they're both very strong where they can like pound it down low, and like Emmy has great seals. Like she gets great, like where she can just make an easy layup because she gets you really deep and on the block. Caroline also very strong, great rebounder. So it's hard to say. Like I feel like everyone brings something a little different. But I think one-on-one, I don't know. I feel like I gotta say me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We'll see. That turnaround fadeaway jump shot the other night. All these games run together. I forget which game it was. Was that your most Kobe moment of your career? Because that felt like. No, that was that was I know a movie. I think that was versus North Carolina A&T, and that was like I don't know. I think that was I like that move. That was nice. I felt happy about that one, but. And it almost was like, I don't want to say you got yourself in you didn't get yourself in trouble. You just weren't in the position that you would have wanted to be in to get to the basket. Shot clock was running down, and you improvised, and fade away. It was. I say Kobe because it did look guard-like.
Yeah.
But probably Hakeem Olajuwon, if you've ever watched any of the old films. I'm not sure if your dad showed you any stuff of him. But he had what was they call it? The Dream Shake. Yeah, the Dream Shake. So it was in that neighborhood, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, well, we'll have to come up with your own version of what, the Dream Shake. We'll come up with that. Right, and maybe whatever that is will be the name of the band, too.
Yeah.
So we'll just tie it all together. Come up
The
with
Dream Shake would be a great band name.
That would be a great band name. And that sounds like it would be like a pop band,
Yeah,
too.
like a little dancing moment. I don't know.
Like the magazine, Tiger Beat or whatever those magazines are. This week's
Shake.
The Dream Shake. I love it. That's it.
Yeah.
Can I be the manager of the Dream Shake? And
Yes.
we're going to go places for sure. We've done so many of these over the years. I've asked you every question that I can think of. I mean, I'm sure there's something that later in the day I'll go, oh, you know what? I don't know if I've ever asked Bella this. But at a point now, I just go, we've talked so many times about just about everything imaginable.
Yeah.
So I've run out of topics. So I'm just going to turn the rest of the conversation over to you.
Okay, so I just talk?
Well, I've asked you 1,000 questions. Fire a couple at me.
Okay, that's great. Perfect. Okay, so I actually was going to ask you this before. So how long have you been doing this with women's basketball, Liberty Women's Basketball?
I've been doing this. Now, I started when I was 6 years old.
Oh, with Liberty Women's
Wink.
Basketball.
That makes me, when you start doing the math, then it makes me a lot younger if I started when I was a kid. But no, this is actually 30th season.
Wow.
Or no, 30 years. So 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at, I actually beat Coach Green here because he's whatever it is now, 27th year for him, 26th year for him. But yeah, it's been a long, long time. And the first 2 years that I did, we were 7-20 and 5-22.
Wow.
So it was not good. And then after that, they won the first Big South Championship. And then it's been, we've had a couple of minor setbacks as far as seasons are concerned, like 500 or something, 16 and 16.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been nothing but success since then. So
it must be you.
Well, I was here those first 2 terrible years too. So if I'm gonna,
no, well, they just needed to get used to you. That's all it was, and then it got set in.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, good
That's
start.
Awesome. That's awesome. So, what has been your best memory? Like, what has been your favorite memory? Like working with women's basketball, what's been like your best, I don't know, something like that?
The Sweet 16 was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's one against me, but we're having a little game, Bella and I are, just to let you in on it, because if you've seen some funny facial expressions, I'm trying not to say cool, and you're trying not to say...
For sure. I caught myself say it one time. I might have said it more. I might look back and be like, you said it a little bit more than... But for sure, I'm not trying to say. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
For sure.
So we're trying to call each other out on that, but... what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Sweet 16 was fun. Like it was
cool.
It was a good adventure, and no, that was
yeah.
And women's basketball has grown and grown and grown,
Yeah.
and so now a Sweet 16 run might mean a little something different. But even back then, it was
huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
You're on every media outlet. Coach Katie was actually sort of the face of all that. When Jimmy Dykes asks her, why Liberty? And she's like, why not Liberty?
Yeah.
And then
Iconic.
talk. Yeah, it's just great. Perfect response. And that whole run was a lot of fun. Now, there's been so many great things over the years. Beating Florida Gulf Coast that one time in the arena was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Upsetting UVA here when they were a top 25 team back in the day was really nice. Virginia Tech,
That's one of my favorites.
That's a memory I won't forget, and they won't either because they haven't played us since then.
They refuse.
They're not coming back. But no, there's a lot of really fun trips over the years. We've been to Cancun. We went to the Bahamas. Seattle, that was a
really
fun
liked
trip
that
a couple years ago, and there's been a lot of really nice things. But I think the people that you meet and those relationships, and Coach Green was just talking the other day about in January there's going to be kind of a alumni day game, and he mentioned some of the names of people that were coming back. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen them in years. So
That's
I think
cool.
it comes back to the relationships
Yeah.
that you build over that time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So wait, I have to know, was Coach Katie, like, is she the same? Was she the same in college as she is now? Like how her personality is like
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that girl.
Yeah, she was great as far as interviews and stuff. But I think timid, like as you would be.
Yeah.
But then as she went along, and that conversation that she had on ESPN, like you said, was iconic. And I don't know that she would have been the first one to volunteer to pick up a microphone, but when you put one in front of her, she
did
represented well. Yeah,
No.
very well.
No, I love her. I think we always will joke around in the thing. We'll be like, why not Liberty? She's like, guys, stop it.
Yeah, I can see how that might embarrass her a little bit.
But no, I love her. Let me think if I can think of any other questions. Let's think of a fun one, like that doesn't have to do with basketball. If you could, I'll just say this. It's kind of basic, but it's fine.
Favorite color?
I'm like, yeah. No, if you could go anywhere like that you haven't been, where would you go?
Ooh, this came up the other day. As far as the United States, Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. There's a few states I haven't been to, but Alaska's kind of the one that stands out, and it'd be really nice to go up there, and it would literally be cool.
Literally.
So I can get away with that. Literally is one of my biggest pet peeves too.
Okay, not literally.
No. This case it is. This case it works.
But when people say literally all the time,
and it
I'm
doesn't
that way
work.
A little bit sometimes. I'm sorry.
Because the question is always, if you say something, I literally, blah, 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 you have to ask yourself, could I figuratively do the same thing? And if the answer is no, then don't say literally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
fair.
That's just that
is
you
a
didn't
pet
ask
peeve.
pet peeves, but that is probably one of
One
my biggest ones. And when I catch myself do it, I'm so disappointed. Like I couldn't be more disappointed in myself
like,
if I use it wrong. Because if I'm going to chastise everybody else for using it wrong, I better get it right.
Yeah.
But usually I do catch myself. It'll like half the word will be out, and I'll go.
You're like,
no.
anyways.
Nope, that does not work. It can't be figurative. But yeah, Alaska would be cool. And then as far as probably the world, Germany, because I've got family in Germany. I've never been.
That's
and my grandmother was 100% German. My aunt still is, when she's 100, well, no, she's not 100% German because she would be, I'm 25, she's 50, but she still lives there.
Yeah.
And so 50? 75? I don't know. That stuff. Have you ever done one of those ancestry things?
Yeah, my dad did one time, and like I'm Polish. Like my dad's pretty like he's a lot of Polish, and so but my mom, she's kind of a mix of a bunch of things. So I don't know. I'd have to do one myself one day to see the exact like percentages. But
Would you like to go to Poland?
It's cold. It's really cold there.
Go in the summer?
Yeah, maybe that would be cool. I would go in the summer, but I wouldn't want to go in the winter.
Fair enough. What question would Bella Smuda ask Bella Smuda? Like,
like right now?
If you were interviewing yourself.
I have no idea.
What message, what story, what thing that maybe no one's ever asked you about that you'd like people to know about?
I think the biggest thing is just like I want people to know that, I don't know, I feel like my heart is that like people know I like love the Lord, number one, and like I really want to like, my prayer has always been to just like be a light to people. So I think that's like my biggest thing is like, I guess like even coming back this year to Liberty, I want to like, there's so many like of these little girls who come to the games, and like I don't know, that's what I love to do it for, I guess. So I don't that's not really a question, but I just like want people to know that I love Jesus, and I want all the little girls to play basketball forever and love it with all their heart. I don't know.
No, that's pretty cool, and that connects to something that Emmy actually was telling us about, why you wear the number 31.
Yeah, I do. She knows that?
Yeah.
I will cry. literally. But no, that's so sweet. Yeah, I do, because Proverbs 31, it's like a whole chapter about being like a strong woman of God, and so I've like been wearing it since I was in middle school because of that. So yeah.
Very cool. Can't think of a better way to end this conversation at this point. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great Christmas.
Yes, you
and a good New Year, and then we'll be right back at playing basketball a little bit later on.
Conference USA.
Yep. Tell your family that we wish them the best. Your dad's great, your whole support system. I mean, you've got a whole group of folks that support you.
My parents, my mom just came the other week, and like she was able to stay here, so just love my family, love everyone back at Trinity Assemblies of God. Shout out if you guys watching this, people from my church at home. But yeah, love everyone back in good old Pennsylvania.
You got to go fairly close.
Yeah.
Up in Towson, so that was kind of cool.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
Anyways.
That's the perfect way to end.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. We'll be back with Coach Carey Green right after this on the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show. That's hilarious.
At Carter Bank, we believe life is best lived full of opportunities and dreams, of goals achieved and promises kept. We've been creating opportunities for more people and businesses to prosper since 1974. That means great local lending, convenient access to your money, accounts and guidance that make it easier to get more done. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames Athletics. Visit carterbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Curious about the Central Virginia housing market? Carl Miller Realty are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales in Central Virginia. With over 100 years of combined experience, they are committed to helping clients make informed housing decisions. For a winning game plan and to discover the value of your home, visit carlmillerrealty.com to make your next move a slam dunk.
You're listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Today's show will continue after this 1-minute timeout on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Thompson Brooks Insurance has been serving Virginia for over 40 years, helping individuals and businesses with their insurance and investment needs. The team at Thompson Brooks is experienced in understanding life and health insurance, Medicare, and retirement planning. Thompson Brooks Insurance can be reached at 434-385-8500 or online at thompsonbrooksinsurance.com. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow.
Century Exteriors offers exterior home renovations, including but not limited to gutters, roofing, siding, home additions, and much more. Century Exteriors makes the process seamless. Call 434-239-6722 for a free on-site estimate or visit centuryexteriors.com and Century Exteriors on Facebook and Instagram. Century Exteriors is a proud supporter of Liberty Flames Athletics.
Welcome back in. We're joined by head coach Carey Green. And Coach, I know this Harris-Cherokee tournament didn't end the way that you wanted it to. There's some positives in that you knocked off Arkansas. That was a nice win against the SEC. Playing the late game each day. Don't want to make any excuses, but that was a tough spot to be in. It was always going to be a slight disadvantage for the team that won the late game yesterday, having to turn around on less rest and play today. And it kind of seemed like the girls may have hit a little bit of a wall after halftime. The third quarter certainly looked like it was sleepwalking a little bit.
Yeah, the third quarter is the quarter that really cost us the game. What happened in the third quarter, and you brought a point. I'm not buying it, but maybe it is a real factor. We played late game last night, and so did Arkansas, and both of us lost tonight. And Arkansas had less time to turn around. So if anybody had a rough deal, Arkansas had the toughest, and Toledo had the easiest. and I think we probably had the second toughest. But so the two teams that had the least rest lost. But, you know, we lost first quarter, won second quarter. We're up by 4 at halftime. Had opportunities to stretch that and just didn't capitalize on offense or defense and giving them an extra shot. And losing that third quarter, I know that we had 5 turnovers during that period of time, and our 14 turnovers turned out to be 22 points. And typically a turnover is equal to about 1. So those 5 turnovers in that, actually 5 in the third and fourth, gave them 22 points. So that really hurt. I thought overall factor, their defense was better than ours, and their offensive or their rebounding was better than ours. That's a sense of pride that we want to have in rebounding and defense, but the reality is that I feel like we shoot better than them, and yet their defense was better, and they out-rebounded us by 8, I think was 9.
9, yeah.
Out-rebounded us by 9, and the real clincher that really no, you're right. It's 8.
It's late.
8, late 8. Okay, they out-rebounded us by 8. We both had 30 points in the paint. I think we could have been better there. And the one factor that just bothers me is that on our defensive boards, we had 18 defensive boards, and they had on that same board 15 offensive boards. That shouldn't even be close. So that's a disappointing statistic, and it showed the way we played. We were there some of the time, but we weren't boxing out, so it was jumping contest, and we knew it. We warned them, okay, that we have to win that battle, and as long as the game was close, but we ended up losing that by 8, and it had an impact on us. So it really comes down to one quarter, and yeah, I'm disappointed. I wanted to have these girls to experience a championship and move on and have a great Christmas. Now that they're going to have to move on and have a great Christmas without the championship and learn from it. But Toledo took it to us and really opened up that first quarter. Man, they didn't make their first 5 shots, but we battled back and, as I said, took the lead and won the fourth quarter as well. But offense in that third quarter and our defense wasn't good enough in the rebound. It just comes down to that. 21-8 in the third quarter and couldn't recover. Got it up to maybe got it to 4. Well, no, we had a 4-point lead, and we just got beat in that quarter that bad. And we had a game goal to hold them to 60. If we had done that, you take away that 21 points there and maybe give them 15, then the game would have been much different. I mean, we scored 63 and 15 points difference right there would be 6 points. Take away 6 off of theirs.
You got a 2-point game, but you guys were fouling a lot there at the end.
Yeah, we just fouled at the end, and they went to the free throw line. Looked like, let's see, help me out here. 29 times, that's what I thought. Made 20 of them, and we had to foul. But the fouls drawn and fouls was 27-16, and we had to foul, and I thought we had a couple charges there, and I don't know where in the world what the referees were seeing and I was seeing. I know I'm biased, but I know the truth. It looked like they were charges to me, but it is what it is. We can learn from it and move on.
Coach, last thing for you. You always kind of talk about how there being 3 different seasons, the non-conference, conference regular season, and then postseason. So now you've gotten through the first third of that schedule. How would you grade the Lady Flames through Christmas?
Wow. I would probably give us a B because we have competed in every game. It's just unfortunate, like the Duke. Well, I don't know how much we really competed at Grand Canyon, but against Duke we competed. Against Tennessee we competed, for partial part of the game, and won certain quarters. But so to be a gritty team, we should have won this game tonight, and they were just more grittier than we are. So a B, and we're improving. We should understand what we need to be doing, and we can move on as we get into conference play. And we got to come back, and conference play is going to be critical when we start off, man. We start off with what I consider maybe the top 2 teams there, and that we're battling with in a conference, and they're both on the road. So we got to be ready to go.
Well, we'll see you at Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky just after the New Year. Hope you have a great Christmas, and that you get everything you want in your stocking, and and get a few cookies along the way.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jamie, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year, as well as our Flames Nation out there listening. Thank you for your support. And let me say this, and you probably will agree, Jamie, I think this year's Flames Nation, those that attend our games, it's the best crowd we've had.
Yeah.
It's a good ticket. It's a family ticket. And the girls certainly cherish, and I think they deserve the support from the community. And it's a love affair there that we really appreciate our fans and them coming out and supporting us. And we wish them a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year's, and we'll see you in the Liberty Arena soon.
Sounds good. See you after the New Year.
Thank you.
Head coach Carey Green. Again, we'll be back with you just after travel on New Year's Day, and head out for some basketball with Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky after that. Until then, this is Jamie Hall saying so long and God bless.
You've been listening to the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Radio Show with head coach Carey Green. Today's show has been presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show has also been brought to you by Carter Bank, Life Lived Full, Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Freedom Heating and Air, serving those who serve us. Carl Miller Realty, caring, competent, trusted advisors. Lynchburg Nissan, nobody beats our prices. Nobody. Century Exteriors, experience and quality you can trust. Schedule a free estimate at centuryexteriors.com. And by Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow. Liberty Flames Basketball is an exclusive presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.